Hi guys, this is Vysh from Vysh IAS. We have completed chapters 1 to 16 completely from the Spectrum textbook, and today we are going to do chapter 17. Actually, chapter 17 and 18 is about the different types of uprisings against the British. 17 is about the tribal uprising and 18 is about the peasant uprising. We could have done both in one video because it's all static factual information about different revolts and which location it happened and who are the important leaders. So it's going to be like a factual thing, but I have tried to incorporate pictures for you so that it retains in your mind. Like you see, Birsa Munda is in the cover page. He is in news now. You will know why if you are following the current affairs. So UPSC will pick up something related to its history and form some match the following questions. So we will see in detail about tribal uprisings from different locations, south, north, east, west of India during those days. But before that, I have to tell you something. I am seeing a lot of views for the videos, but students are not subscribing to the channel. I recommend you subscribe because our channel is anyway going to put only useful questions because we ourselves are also aspirants, and so we are not going to put any junk videos and trouble you with notifications once you subscribe. So because now the Spectrum series is going to get over, we may start something new based on your suggestions. That is also one thing which I have been asking you many times, like there are no suggestions coming up. In Facebook page we have got few, so based on that only we started the confusing topic simplified series. So again we have to start something new, which we have few things in mind, but we wanted to know what you prefer. So please give your suggestions, subscribe the channel, and then give your feedback for each and every video which you watch. Okay, only then we will get motivated to make more interesting videos for you, because the December month is also now midway. We have to act fast so that we are not left behind compared to other serious aspirants. So let's continue the series with chapter 17. So we'll see, as I told, location wise. First we'll see tribal uprisings in Bengal. Mostly we'll see the eastern side now. Bengal means it's not the West Bengal state, it is the presidency of that time, which includes Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, and also the northeastern states, Assam, Manipur, Tripura, and all those things. So we'll see quickly important. I have tried to make just two-liner for each of the tribal uprising because there are lots of them. So you have to read it now. You will understand. It will be far better than reading the Spectrum, which is a pure black and white textbook. So this will be more interesting. So make a note of all these things, or watch this video again when you want to revise. Surely I am telling, how much ever times you study, this thing you will have to revise again just before prelims, because how much ever intellectual you are, these things are factual and you are going to forget it. So best thing to do is study this now, attempt maximum MCQs related to these kind of things, because every mock test of modern history will have questions related to these kind of uprisings. I'll also show you some sample 4-5 questions at the end of this video. So let's begin. First is the Sannyasi Revolt, which happened in 1770. So we'll go in kind of chronological order so that it will be easy to remember. The reason for this revolt was economic hardships on the people by the company during massive famine. So this was like a common phenomenon we have seen multiple times. Famine used to be forced upon the people. It's not like it happened naturally. So people were out of food grains and economic hardships were there. So this is one revolt which was against the economic hardships. So restrictions imposed on visits of sannyasis to the holy place. This is another thing. That is why it is called Sannyasi Revolt. Sannyasis organized raid on the company factories. Warren Hastings suppressed it. See the timeline, 1770. So it is Warren Hastings, the first Governor General of Bengal. So this is about Sannyasi Revolt. Another one fact I will tell you, based on Sannyasi Revolt, the work Anand Mat was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. From where what is taken? From there the Vande Mataram is taken. So that has also been asked in UPSC once. So you should know these kind of facts. So that is about Sannyasi Revolt. Next is Chaur Uprising, 1766 to 1772 and 1795 to 1816. So the Chaurs, they rose up in rebellion 2 times. Reason: enhanced land revenue during the time of famine. So almost the same reason. They were tribesmen of Midnapur, took arms in revolt, but later it was suppressed. So most of the revolts it was suppressed, but it were all great achievements by tribal people during that time. So Sannyasi Revolt, Chaur Uprising, both in the Bengal region. Ho Uprising, 1820 to 22 and 1831 to 37. Again, it is Bengal region and during 19th century. Ho and Munda tribes, not happy with company rule, revolt against them. So it was like usual struggle which the nationalists used to do, but tribals were also against the British rule because they were unhappy by certain tribal laws. It was mainly because the Britishers used to interfere into their forest rights or their tribal activities which they used to do for centuries. So these people, British tried to formalize everything without their permission. So that is why revolts were happening. So Sannyasi or Ho. Coal mutiny. This name you have to remember because coal mutiny is important because this name is going to repeat. It's not like coal in the western side of India. There is another mutiny which is called Koli, and also Kolhapur will be there. So UPSC usually picks up these kind of similar names and confuse the aspirants. So if you remember, coal mutiny is in the eastern side of India. Koli and Kolhapur will be on the western side, which we'll see in the subsequent slides. So now coal mutiny 1831. The regions are Ranchi, Singhbhum, Hazaribagh, Chotanagpur, again in the eastern side. So reason, transfer of their land to other Sikh and Muslim farmers. So Britishers used to do this land distribution kind of thing, and that too again was not appreciated by these tribals. So they revolted by burning and killing about 1,000 soldiers. Later again this was also suppressed. So one more thing we learned, coal mutiny. Next is Khand uprising, 1837 to 56, and the leader named Chakra Bisoi, repeatedly asked by UPSC either in match the following or in some statement. Chakra Bisoi's name will be there. Khand uprising or Khond uprising they call sometimes. Region is Patna, Gumsar, Kalhandi, China Kimedi. I am not sure where it is. Reason, British tried to end one of their ritual, human sacrifice ritual. So this is actually quite you can call it funny because they are doing something like human sacrifice. So it is obviously has to be stopped. But because the Britishers did it, and they felt like the tribals felt like it is being interference into their culture, they protested. So British had actually done a good thing, but according to them it was a bad thing. So it is called Maria, and they fought with tangis, that is battle axe, swords, bow and arrow. So these are again terms which you should learn to relate. So Khand uprising becomes important. Out of this slide, I think Khand uprising is the most important because of these facts. Leader name is Chakra Bisoi, and the two terms Maria and tangis. Okay, so tribal uprising in Bangla, we'll see few more. Santal rising. This is very important because the timeline is closer to the 1857 revolt. Okay, 1856 at Rajmahal Hills. UPSC used to pick up locations also. Okay, so remember, note out these locations. Rajmahal Hills, they'll put Santal uprising like a pair, against it will put Rajmahal Hills, or instead they'll put some Malwa Plateau or something. So they'll confuse you. So learn the locations thoroughly. Against oppression by outsiders. So Diku is a term which they used to call for outsiders. Even money lenders, sometimes they refer the same term. So Diku becomes important for Santal uprising. So it was against the money lenders, revenue officials, police, etc. It is not for the Britishers, not against the Britishers mainly. So this is what UPSC will trap you by using these kind of statements. And the leader is Siddho and Kanu, two leaders. When two people name comes, again it becomes important. Remember all those things which we learned previously. Ali brothers, Saeed brothers, then Rash Bihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal. When people name comes in pair, it is going to have a greater chance for coming in the exam. Okay, so Siddho and Kanu rose up and declared themselves independent in 1854. Military repression, Siddho died in 1855, Kanu arrested in 1866. A separate region called Santal Paragana was created to pacify them. So they were a kind of little bit successful in their revolt. Even though one died and one was arrested, a separate region was made for them to pacify them. Ahom revolt is from Assam, I think. Actually it is there on the eastern side, and the leader is Gomdar Konwar. You should try to remember maybe somehow like O and O, Ahom and Gomdar. That way you have to try to remember these names. So that match the following, at least one choice, it will be easily eliminated for you. Britishers had pledged to withdraw from Assam after the first Burma War, which we have done in detail in the 4th chapter, part 3. Please watch it. In the first Burma War, British told they will withdraw after the war, but instead they tried to include the region under company domination, which was not accepted by the people. Finally, a settlement agreement was made with the Maharaja Purandar Singh Narendra. So finally, again, it was kind of win-win situation for the tribals. So Ahom revolt in 1828 in Assam. Gomdar Konwar is the leader. Khasi uprising, the leader is Tirath Singh. So this name, like Singh is the name, so they'll confuse you with some choice which is like some revolt in the Punjab, and they'll put the name like Tirath Singh. So you should not get confused. Khasi uprising is in the eastern side, you know, Khasi, Garo Khasi Jaintia Hills in Meghalaya now. So you should know Khasi uprising as Tirath Singh. Actually, Britishers tried to construct a road from Brahmaputra Valley to Sylhet. Sylhet is in present-day Bangladesh. A lot of outsiders came to that region, which was not like the inhabitants. So whenever we try to go and occupy places of these tribes, they will not be happy. Even now in India, in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there are tribes which is totally separated from other humans or human activity, and they are living in isolation because they can't allow, or they don't prefer anyone coming to their region. So it is strictly protected by the government of India. So those were the same conditions within the mainland of India during the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries. So you should know Khasi uprising, Tirath Singh. Pagalpanthis, again a popular name asked in UPSC. Leaders are Karam Shah and Tipu. This was again against Zamindari oppression, not against the Britishers directly, and religious and political motives. So it had its own reasons. Captured a lot of areas, and the area remained disturbed for almost 2 decades. So whenever, it's almost the same thing, whenever their region is affected, their religious values are affected, something like that happens, they will rise up in revolt. So Karam Shah and Tipu are the leaders of Pagalpanthi revolt. Next is Pharisee Revolt. Again we are looking the same locations, Bengal and Northeast. Haji Shariat Allah and Dadu Mian. These are the leaders of Pharisee Revolt 1838 to 57. So it was going on for a long time. Advocated radical religious, social and political changes. Supported cause of peasants against zamindars. Also wanted to overthrow the British. So it has both the regional causes and also the hatred against British. Munda Revolt. This is in news, and I strongly believe something related to Munda Revolt is going to come for UPSC 2018. So please read more about it. Just Google for current affairs, Birsa Munda current affairs. You will get something, because recently it is there in news. We'll see the history. Leader is Birsa Munda. Rose in rebellion. Mundas of Chota Nagpur struggling for land rights against Jagidars, Tikhadas, Money-lenders. Birsa raised a 6,000 member group in revolt with swords, spears, axes, bow and arrows. He was arrested in 1900 and died there itself, thus ending the movement. So the current affairs, when you see, you will see statue of Birsa Munda is there. That is in their news. So please read that current affairs. If you don't find it, let me know. I'll explain it again someday later. So that is Munda Revolt. And see the timeline also, it is like 1900, okay. Singhpos Revolt. Singhpos, again Assam, rose against British and killed a British political agent. So we saw Gomdar was there in Assam, Ahom Revolt was there, Singhpos Revolt is there in Assam, and yeah, I think those three were there in Assam. So you have to read this way. When you read something, try to connect what was a similar kind of movement, so it will be there in your mind. We'll see some few more names for Manipur and Tripura. I think Manipur, Cookies Revolt. This also becomes important because when you learn Punjab, I think something called Kukka Revolt will be there. This is Cookies. The Cookies Revolt, Manipur tribes against recruiting Indians to army during World War I. So during World War I, you remember, Indians were forced to join the army. So Manipur tribes revolted, and that is Cookies Revolt. See the timeline also, 1917 to 1919. That is during World War I. Ziliang Song movement, 1920s. Zami, Liangmei and Rongmei tribes against British. So these are tribe names, 3 tribes against the British to protect themselves. So this is a movement in Manipur. Naga movement again. Naga is actually in news a lot even now for Greater Naga. That is a different issue that we'll see later. So this is again Manipur. Jadonang against British and set up Nagaraj. Almost the reason is similar, but the people might be different. Heraka cult. These kind of names are also, there are chances for coming in question. Heraka cult is related to what, or what is it? So here the leader is Rani Kednilu, which we have done in very much detail during our nationalist movement. The Rani title was given by Jawaharlal Nehru. She was like a leader who rose in rebellion at the age of 13 and was sent to jail. And also she is important now because 1916 was her birth date. So 2016, 100-year completion, Indian government had launched a coin, 100 rupee coin also. And the Coast Guard of India also has launched a INS Rani Gaidinelu, a ship, a Coast Guard ship is named after her. So it is very much important and it's in news for the last 2-3 years. So Heraka cult, you have to remember, it is related to Rani Gaidinelu. She is from Nagaland. Tripura, Ryan's Revolt, Ratnamani is the leader. 2 revolts led by Parikshit Jamatya and Bharti Singh. So try to remember, like for Tripura there is only 1 revolt, so you can easily remember Ryan's Revolt. Okay. That was all about Eastern India. Now we'll go to Western side of India. Bhill uprising. See the years, they have been rising in rebellion multiple times. So they have been in constant protest. Leader is Sevaram. Sevaram, Bhill uprising. Aboriginal tribes against new masters. Again, companies' entry to their regions made them to protest. So that is Sevaram is the leader of Bhill's uprising. Kutch rebellion. Kutch, obviously you will easily understand, it's there in the western side. Leader is Rao Bharamal, ruler of Kutch. British overthrew him and interfered in their internal affairs, which the British always used to do, and captured lands. Setback of British in Burma war during the same time encouraged the chiefs to revolt to restore Bharamal. Extensive military operations failed to control situation. Later conciliatory policy adopted. So later somehow some compromise was made and the revolt came to an end. So you should remember the ruler was replaced and British tried to interfere in their affairs. So that is why this happened. Kutch rebellion, Raja Bharamal. Vaghera rising. Vaghera chiefs against British rule. Exactions of Gaikwads of Baroda. Peace treaty by 1820. So again this is, I don't think much important because I didn't see any question till now. Kohli, this is what I told. Coal we had studied, coal mutiny in the eastern side. Kohli mutiny is in the western side. Again company rule who destroyed their forts. Ramosi rising is important because during peasant revolt again you will learn a Ramosi rebellion. That will be a different one. I think under Vasudev, Balwant Phadke or something. But this is Ramosi rising, tribal one, hill tribals of West India. Here the leader is Chittur Singh. So you should know there is 2 types of two names Ramosi rising. One is the tribal one under Chittur Singh. Another one will be the peasant one, which we'll see in the next chapter. I think so. I will see whether it comes up in the same slide somewhere, same video. But I remember it is in peasants revolt. Surat salt agitations 1844 to 48 against increase in salt tax. Here there is no leader name or something, I think. So just a name you have to remember. Kolhapur. So Kohli, now Kolhapur. 1844, Gadkaris. So Gadkari is actually a term used for military class. They were left unemployed after the British disbanded garrisons in Maratha fort. So what happened is the Britishers attacked Maratha. We have studied in detail about the Maratha rebellions. So that time this particular class, they got unemployed because British won't care who is working under the Marathas. They'll just capture the places and territories. So Gadkaris lost their jobs, so they went in revolt. That is the Kolhapur and Savantwadi revolt. So we'll go to south now. West was little lesser. I think south and north will be even lesser. So south is revolt of Raja of Vijayanagaram, 1769 to 95. British seized the territories, demanded 3 lakh rupees and forced to disband troops. Raja, with support of people, rose in revolt. So this was a king was trying to be replaced, and so king rose in revolt with the people. But he was killed in 1794. Later his son was made a ruler. So revolt of Raja Vijayanagaram is in the south. Polygarchs revolt during Mysore. When we are studying Mysore, we have learned this. The polygarchs of Dindigal and Malabar rose up against oppressive land revenue system. So I'm sure you will be getting confused of each of the revolt, like whether it was against land revenue, whether it was economic hardship or famine or zamindars or directly to British. It is confusing, I know, but slowly when we learn or when we read it multiple times, it will be there imprinted in our mind. Also when we solve MCQs, we will be able to easily eliminate the choices. That is why we are doing this chapter separately without merging with anything else. Okay, so try to make notes. We will anyway revise it later again. Diwan Veluthambi's revolt. This is important. He was a very important ruler of the south. See, even stamps and statues are there after him. Subsidiary alliance signed between Veluthambi of Travancore and Wellesley. So this is actually, I taught you during subsidiary alliance the places which came under subsidiary alliance in order. AHMT was the trick. Awadh, Hyderabad, Mysore, and T was Travancore. So this is that time. Diwan Veluthambi was the leader. Huge subsidies were charged and harsh conditions were imposed. Failing to pay the arrears, the king rose to revolt with support of Nair battalion. So the Nair battalion, if you should know, Nair obviously will connect it to Kerala. So the leader is Veluthambi, okay, and you should know the reason was subsidiary reliance and the harsh conditions. Rampa Revolt, hill tribals of coastal Andhra, so again Andhra Pradesh, which is in the southwestern side, against government supported Mansabdars and new restrictive forest regulations. So again their forest regulations are being interfered, and so they rose in rebellion. So that is Rampa Revolt 1879. Rampa Revolt, one more is there. Leader is Alluri Sitarama Raju against British rule, later captured in 1924. So remember, two are there, okay, Rampa Revolt. Veerapandya Kattabomman in Tamil Nadu against British rule, captured in 1799. So similar to Veluthambi in Kerala, Veerapandya Kattabomman is in Tamil Nadu, and Rampa Revolt is in Andhra. So these were important things in the south. So this is again a stamp, I think, for Veerapandya Kattabomman. So these were the uprising in the south. Now the last one of this chapter, uprising in North India. This is what I told, Kukka Revolt. We had seen Houki Revolt some time back, okay, when we were looking at the eastern side. So again Kukka is there in the western side. So here the leader is Bhagat Jawahar Mal, who is also called Sian Sahib, Ram Singh, later deported to Rangoon. So Namdari sect, they were basically Namdari sect, which is under the Sikh who chants the name of God. And Cook, the name is because they cry in emotion spiritually, so their prayers were like that, okay. So that is why it was called Kukka Revolt. It started as a religious purification movement, like no meat, alcohol, drugs. Later political, discrimination of Sikhs, women freedom. So it started as a purely religious thing. They'll tell like our religion is being interfered, that thing, this thing, not. But later it became political, and it was like for the discrimination which they faced, the Sikh people, or the women were shut behind doors. So those kind of actual political reasons came up, and that is how Kukka Revolt proceeded. So if you see, 150 years of Kukka Revolt happened in 2007. So a coin was released. So this year 2017 is again 160 years. So maybe it becomes important again. This is a stamp related to same. So stamp and coin both is there. Now next one, I'll ask you a question. Darul Harb to Darul Islam, that is land of Kafir to land of Muslims. Which movement was that? We have learned this in the social religious movement in a detailed table. I have explained you all the Muslim movements and Hindu movements. So this was for Wahhabi movement. If you remember, we learned Ahmadiyya movement, Aligarh movement, Wahhabi and Deoband, where Ahmadiyya and Aligarh, both starting with A, they are reformist movement who believed in Western sciences and modern education. But Wahhabi movement and Deoband movement were revivalist movement. Revivalist in the sense they wanted to bring all the old Islam rules or Islam things into existence. They did not believe in modern education or sciences. So the leader was Sayyid Ahmad of Rai Bareli. We have already done in detail, but because there are no much uprisings of North India, we have to see this also here. Inspired by Abdul Wahab Saudi and Shah Waliullah Delhi. So these were leaders from which inspiration was taken, and Sayyid Ahmad of Rai Bareli will start the Wahhabi movement. Again same thing, land of Kafir to land of Islam. Sithana in northwest India, area of operation. So this is the area of operation, a place under spiritual vice regents, Khalifas, spread to Patna, Bengal, Madras. So it was spread across India. So it cannot be completely called a North Indian movement. It had spread across India. Declared jihad against the Sikhs. Later, when English defeated Sikhs, they turned to Britain. So they turned their loyalty to Britain when Britain defeated the Sikhs, because they were against the Sikhs also. Rose up against Britain multiple times, later suppressed by sedition charges and cases. So that is how Wahhabi movement came to an end. So I think we have covered all the important ones which UPSC can pick. I don't think question will come anything outside this. It can come only if something new comes up in current affairs. Other than that, they won't dig into a lot of history textbooks and pick up these things. They only take things which are in news or which are mentioned in standard textbooks like the Spectrum. So I have told you with pictures, with examples and related videos which we have done before also. So you should be able to answer if you revise this video again just before prelims. So you have 6 months for that. You can easily revise. Okay. We'll see some questions. Which of the following are true regarding Worley's revolt in 1945? I think I did not mention about this in the slides because I wanted to show you the MCQ. So it had massive women's participation, It came under the influence of Communist Party of India. Varlis were basically tribal people living in Maharashtra. I'm sure you will know the third statement is right. The other two, just Google for it and find out and try to answer, because I want you people to answer in comments. That is why I'm not giving you the answers here in the video. Even in comments, if you give it wrong also, I'll give you the answer there. But please attempt. I don't want students to simply view it or just ignore these MCQs. Because if you don't solve MCQs for these kind of factual things, you will not be able to complete your syllabus and you will not be able to do good in your prelims. That is a guarantee from me, because we have students who have been doing prelims for multiple years and still not able to clear because they did not practice MCQ. They study a lot, but they don't practice MCQs. Leader Chakra Bisoi was related to which traditional uprising in British India? So see, UPSC will simply pick some leader name and give you the 4 popular ones. So you have to tell which one it is. We have done this, it's there in the first slide itself, I think. So if you don't remember, try to see the video again. Gadkaris in context of medieval modern India refers to. This again UPSC's favorite type of farming questions. They pick terms like this. So you have to know what is Gadkaris. It is the military class, okay, under the Marathas, who were left unemployed after the British attacked Marathas. We have seen this. Last question, which of the following leaders of revolt are not matched correctly? That means 3 of them are correct. Only 1 is incorrect. That is why I told, if you know at least 1 or 2, you can easily eliminate options. Like if you see Ahom Revolt, Gomdar, O and O, I told you the trick, so easily C will be eliminated. That is correct. Pharisee Revolt, again you see some Muslim names there, so you can think, even if you didn't study, you will know like that may be right only, so that also will go away. Now only thing is A and D, so that you have to tell me in comments. I have eliminated 2 choices for you. Anyway, all A and D is also there in our slides, but I want you to attempt it. Watch it again if you don't remember and attempt it. That is how you will remember, okay? Because one of them is wrong now. You have to find out which one is wrong. So please subscribe to our channel again. I'm telling you this for the nth number of times. Still I don't see response. But anyway, I'm happy that people are watching it and they are getting benefit out of it. We'll continue the history series and maybe complete it by tomorrow. Next will be the Pharisee Revolt, chapter 18, which will be coming up soon. Till then, thank you. Enjoy your learning and have a nice day.